We're back for another video. This is your man Warrior, and this is another part of my series on the ships. We're going over their attacks and abilities just to kind of give you a quickie look at what they do and what they are. And so the next few ships, this one is the Clone Sergeant's ARC-170. This is going to be a tank ship, so this is pretty cool. I love the look of the ship. I mean, come on, the graphical art on this is absolutely amazing. This is, I know I said the other one was my favorite ship, probably in uniqueness, but I don't know. I mean, it is really hard to choose a favorite. So for the crew power unique, he's got torpedo strike. It has a cooldown of 3. It deals physical damage to a target enemy. Doesn't sound like anything big, right? Well, if they have target lock on them, the person that you're shooting, the ship you're shooting, it says this attack is an automatic critical hit and cannot be evaded. So that is just guaranteeing you're going to punch them. Punch them hard. That is really cool. On your basic wing cannons, it deals physical damage to a target enemy with a 50% chance to inflict target lock for 2 turns. So not like Biggs where you're going to give it to him all the time, but half of the time you're going to give him target lock. So you can really see these ships are starting to bring in target lock into play. And his special, he has a cooldown of 4. It says Clone Sergeant's ship is going to gain offense up for 2 turns and recovers 48% protection. That's nearly half of the protection. That is awesome. It's called Overcharge. Very, very cool ability. And look to the right. Do you see to the right? It says coming soon. Hardware abilities coming soon. Hardware abilities are like being able to add R2-D2 and characters like that. So if this couldn't get cool enough, it already has future capabilities that are going to be unlockable down the road. This is awesome. So let's go to the next one, Rex's ARC-170. So very simple to the other one, but of course the abilities are going to be different. It is a tank. Just like this one is a tank. The ships are the same. It's just, you know, they're painted up a little bit different. So what does Rex bring? Republic Coordination, cooldown of 6. His ship, Rex's ship, and another target ally will gain 50% turn meter, whoa, and recover 50% protection. That could come in the nick of time in a battle for sure by giving yourself turn meter and protection. Wow. This ability's cooldown is reduced by 1 for each other Republic ally. If you had 4 other Republic allies, this would be a cooldown of 2. Oh man, this looks so OP. This looks ridiculous OP. This is probably one of the best to date that I've read. One of the best abilities that a character can bring to the table. This is absolutely crazy. Let's see what his basic does. It needs to be nothing because that ability is just insane. All right, his hair triggers is basic. It deals physical damage to a target enemy and inflicts target lock for 2 turns if they have no buffs or debuffs, which is unlikely. They're probably going to have a buff or a debuff already, so it's probably just going to inflict damage to target enemy, and that's it. Probably not going to inflict target lock, but it could if it's not buffed or debuffed. Otherwise, it's going to remove turn meters. So this screws them either way. I mean, either they don't have buffs and debuffs and they're going to get target lock, or you're going to remove turn meter. Excuse me. And his special ability is called Ready and Able. His unique Republic allies have plus 10% tenacity. So he's given everybody tenacity just naturally. That's excellent for resistance of all those negative status effects like target lock and daze. So that's really cool. Whenever an ally resists an effect, all other allies recover almost 20% protection. Oh my gosh. I am telling you, this Rex ship, the ARC-170 Rex ship, is probably the most OP I've read. All the ships I've read, this is my favorite to date so far. So yeah, absolutely crazy. Let's go to Wedge, Wedge Antilles X-Wing. Let's see what Wedge brings to the table. His crew, it says his ability is called Eyes on the Breach. Look at that picture. That is really cool with that X-Wing and his targets. It's a cooldown of 4. Deal physical damage to a target enemy. It also deals 10% additional damage for each detrimental effect on the target. So every debuff is going to add 10% additional damage. And if they have target lock inflicted on them, it will inflict 3 damage over time effects for 2 turns. Wow, that is really cool, unique ability for sure. So let's bring in his KX9 laser cannons. This is his basic. He's going to deal physical damage to a target enemy. In addition, inflict 2 damage over time effects for 2 turns on a critical hit. And we know he's probably going to crit. That's just how it works with Wedge and Biggs. So you're going to get those criticals. And so you're going to inflict 2 damage over time effects. So he's doing it both on his what he brings, his crew ability, with the target lock, inflicting damage over time, plus his basic is going to inflict damage over time on a critical. Pretty cool. His unique gives him Wedge's X-Wing gains 25% turn meter whenever it attacks out of turn. Now we know you're going to use this in a Rebel squad, and there's going to be multiple chaining of multiple attacks and multi-attacks, and where they counter and when they call in assists. And so he's going to be called out of turn quite frequently, and every time he's called out of turn, not only will he get that turn, but he'll get an additional 25% turn meter when he attacks out of turn. So that is very cool. I love the ship design too. I think it looks very nice. I think it looks very cool. They did, like I said, a phenomenal job with the art. And you can look to the right to see that they do have, this one has a hardware ability as well. So this is very cool. And Poe Dameron's X-Wing. I probably love the color of this ship better than any other ship out there. The blacks and yellows are awesome. What is his crew ability that he brings to the table? His crew ability is called Perfect Shot. It has a cooldown of 4, and it deals physical damage to a target enemy. This attack can't be evaded, and always scores a critical hit against enemies without protection. So dealing physical damage to that target enemy, they're not going to be able to prevent this, and it says it always scores a critical hit against enemies without protection. So the moment they're weaker, because their protection's gone, it's over with. He's gonna always get that critical hit. So that is very cool. Poe Dameron's ship looks awesome. His basic is called Cover All Angles. He's gonna deal physical damage to a target enemy. And if they have target lock, it says it dazes the target for 2 turns. I already want this ship because daze is awesome. It'll prevent them from getting extra turn meter, extra bonus attacks, things like that. So he's covering all his ankles. But yeah, dazing for 2 turns. Daze target for 2 turns. Very cool. And his special is called Bolt from the Blue. It has a cooldown of 7, which is ridiculously long, but there's a reason, because his X-Wing's going to gain offense up and foresight for 3 turns. So 2 buffs for 3 turns, as well as almost 50% turn meter and 35% protection. 46% turn meter and 35% protection. And he's going to get offense up and foresight, for 3 turns. Is absolutely crazy. So of these ships that I just showed you, which one was your favorite? Poe Dameron's X-Wing, Wedge Antilles X-Wing, Rex's ARC, the Clone Sergeant's ARC. We ended on Biggs on the previous video. What do you think? Leave them in the comments down below. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.